give and they get. Then they run around town beating their chests like they forget. I can forget for now, but I won't never forget. No, love I feel, knowing the universe got my back. Whoa, love I feel, knowing that money gon' come right back.
What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to the Journey Podcast. If you are here, please subscribe, like, drop a comment, give us 5 stars on Spotify, Apple, Amazon, wherever you get your podcasts from. This episode brought to you by Pulsetto. If you're dealing with stress and anxiety, this little device right here might cure that, help you sleep better. Joined by Cousin John.
What up, baby?
Cousin John.
What's good?
We have a very special guest today. I've been looking forward to this since we started talking. First, I'm going to introduce you, Taylor Church. Thank you for joining us, brother.
Of course, man. Happy to be here.
Yeah, it was funny. I've seen, there's this one clip. I'll show it to you after. And it was, dang, I wish I remembered it. I probably should have. This is what, journalism. But it was the first clip I saw of you. And your buddy had said something to you on the podcast. And your response was just like, I was like, damn. And I remember showing Jake. Mm-hmm. I was like, dude, just look at this clip. I was just like, dude, I don't know. It just like the music, everything was perfect. It was like, it was a winning clip.
Yeah.
And then I saw you comment on my thing. I was like, oh shit. I was like, that's the guy that I just said the clip was, I love that clip.
Okay.
And then, then we connected. So I'm glad we got to make this happen. And you came out here from Utah and thank you, brother.
Yeah, dude, I'm really excited. I've always, when I say always, I have no idea when I first saw your stuff, but, since then, I've always enjoyed your guys' stuff, and what I love that you guys do is you like, I mean, we're a pretty similar niche, right? Mm-hmm. Which is a really specific, really specific thing, but you guys look like guys you run into in an alley and it's not good, like it's a bad situation, and to have those types of guys be really vulnerable and share really like soul-oriented things is really beautiful and really special. And so, yeah, when I saw your guys' stuff, I was like, oh, I gotta pod with these guys.
No, that was the best compliment I've ever gotten. It's
pretty good,
right there. That's amazing.
Well, maybe more you than me.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, no, I get that.
I got some tattoos, but I don't know.
I saw you in the wife beater. And I'm not trying to mess with that.
I do that because I have a sweating problem, and if I wore this while I was setting up, I'd have dark purple, navy blue armpits.
Well, I just want to touch upon that real quick. This is why I'm so excited about this episode, because I think this is one of the first times, at least maybe for me, you've done a lot more. But for me, talking to somebody that I want my content to be like, you're very vulnerable and very transparent. I like to model myself after people like that, and there's not a lot of them. Mm-hmm. So I'm very excited about this because I feel like, the three of us were very similar. Obviously, the niche is very similar in men's mental health and whatever. I'm excited, and thank you for being here, bro.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I think this will be a great episode for our viewers. For those of you that don't know Taylor, I mean, very similar to us, but like heartbreak, relationship, finding love, self-doubt, everything that we kind of touch on. It's right. This is kind of what our I'd say our breadwinner is for our style that we speak about. The conversations we have. That's why we kind of built the platform we did, because we help a lot of people through relationship struggles, because that's something everyone's going through.
Yeah.
So,
and what I love that you guys have done that I kind of did as well is I went back and watched like your first episode, and I was like, you guys have just organically evolved. Yeah. Right. And I think at first it was more about like, let's interview athletes and let's talk about, the journey or whatever. Yep. But then it kind of became more like, well, let's talk about what it means to be a human. Yeah. And so it was cool.
That's perfect way to put it.
I want to start with what happened in your life. Was it a relationship? Was it a breakup? Was it a heartbreak? What happened for you to want to almost unravel this side of you and get so deep? Because I think as men, we don't realize we have this side to us until something brings it out of us.
Right.
So what was it for you that made you kind of go down this rabbit hole of like just self-discovery and love?
Yeah, I would say that I've been really lucky that like growing up, I would see my dad tear up. I would see my dad crying, talking about my mom. I would see my sister going to hug my dad and my dad getting teared up. So to me, it was always like, this is not only normal, but it's good, But when you're young, it's so embarrassing to cry, like when you're playing sports and stuff, like I remember in 7th grade, I was in the locker room and somebody was like running around throwing cologne in the air and it like got in my eye and I was just like obviously crying because it was in my eye, but it just really hurt.
Mm-hmm.
And I was so embarrassed that I was just crying in front of the homies, you know? So that, you know, that takes a while to get sort of beat out of you.
Of course.
But as far as talking more about my own heart and my own pain, I think that was just the only way I knew how to really metabolize it accurately. You know, when, so I wrote my first book. It's called I'm Trying Here, and it's about dating and relationships and stuff. And at the time I was going through a breakup and I was just like, I don't know how else to get over this, but to write about it and just sort of excise it from my life and move on, you know, because it was like constantly on my head. And so I was like, I'm just going to write about it, get it out there, and then be done with it, you know. And then, you know, fast forward 10 years, and I had a breakup a couple of years ago that feels like 50 times worse than what I initially sat down and wrote about, you know. So it's a hard question because I think as you grow and mature, a lot of these growth points, they don't happen overnight. Yeah. They don't happen just because something happened necessarily. It's just a natural evolution of how you deal with pain, you know? And I just, to me, anytime I got vulnerable with friends, or vulnerable with other guys, I just saw that it elicited connection. So I'm like, this is pretty inexpensive therapy, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Why not? You know?
What would you say, I guess, your biggest battle or struggle has been with relationships and dating? I mean, I see you're very open about that at this point in your life. I think a lot of us, when we were early in our 20s, I'm 28, John's 31. By this time, we thought we'd be married, and kids, and all of that. So, like, what? Yeah, you know, what does that mean?
I thought I'd have a grandkid by now.
Straight up.
But yeah, like, what is that? What is that struggle like? And maybe, I guess, how have you almost just accepted that, right? You know, is it something that you still battle with all the time? And why do you think a lot of people put so much pressure on themselves to find their person? Because I feel like the more we try to go find our person, the less opportunities that you are going to have to actually find the right one. Like when we try to force it.
Yeah, the opposite happens.
Yeah.
You look for something and you ain't finding it. It comes when you're not looking for it.
Yeah. Oh, man, that's like 5 questions, but I'm going to answer all of them. Dude, it's funny. I was hanging with the girl the other night, and she goes, I feel like there's some sadness behind your eyes. And I was like, well, look away. But and she asked me, she's like, why are you sad or whatever? And my response was almost like, well, do you want to hear everything that's ever happened to me? Yeah. And all the thoughts I've ever had and all the rejections I've ever had? And I was just kind of like, I basically surmised it for her by saying, I don't know that I'm any more sad than anyone else. I just am comfortable with my feelings, and I think what I've experienced isn't necessarily tragic. It's just human. Mm-hmm. And so I'm okay with it. But I would say the crux of the difficulty for dating for me, I think, has partly just been timing and, you know, a collection of relationships that didn't work out for a host of reasons. But I think ultimately when I look back, part of the problem is when you've dated so much, it's easy to sort of make this amalgamation of all the girls you've ever dated, and you have a superwoman in your brain that doesn't actually exist. And I think I'm past that. I don't think that's an actual problem anymore, but I think when I was younger, it was a little bit. And now I just kind of know, okay, I have a handful of things that I really, really need. And unfortunately, they're pretty rare. So they are hard to find. But if I'm out there like searching for gold, I can't really be upset that it's hard to find. you know?
Have you guys been struggling with stress, anxiety, and can't fall asleep at night? I have a solution for you. This little device right here called Pulsetto stimulates your vagus nerve, which pretty much controls everything in your body. It has helped me tremendously. I'm sleeping like a baby. My stress levels are way down. I'm not having that much anxiety. I'm going to walk you guys through how to use this thing. So you're going to download the Pulsetto app, create an account right here. You can choose from anxiety, stress, sleep, burnout, or pain. I'm going to go with anxiety. Step 2, take this gel so you don't burn yourself. You rub it around your neck. Step 3, turn your device on. Place it around your neck. You can adjust it as well. Then we're going to go and set your intensity level. Goes up to 9. I'm going to start at 5, and we're feeling it. So you're going to have this on for 6 minutes. Has the clock right here. You just want to relax, breathe, and I'll let you guys know how I feel after. 6 minutes is up. Wow. Yeah, I mean, I feel way less tense. My traps are light. Feel like I can breathe deeper. And if you guys want to try one of these, click the link below and you'll get 10% off your order. Our discount code is already applied to checkout. So if you use this link, you'll get 10% off your first order of Pulsetto. And I don't think you guys will be disappointed.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I struggle with what you just said. Like, maybe not from the sense of dating for so much, because I was in a relationship for 7 years on and off, 5 years on, and then 2 years like kind of on and off, and we just broke up like early this year. And I feel like now that I'm dating again, I just started. Like, it took me 6 months to even get comfortable with the idea of looking at another woman, right? But I've been comparing all of them to her, and they'll never live up to her.
Right.
But I don't even want to say they'll never live up to her. They'll just never be her. She was so amazing.
Right.
Right. And that's not to say that somebody else won't be so amazing in a different way.
Yeah.
But I just have like this perspective still, and I don't know when it's going to go away, that she was just so great. And I was the one that fucked up, truly.
Yeah.
That none of these girls are ever going to be her. And even when I get to the point where I feel like, okay, I'm healed and I'm the best version of myself, now my standards are so high. Because I had somebody that was fucking great. And I don't know what, you know what I'm saying? I don't know when that's ever going to go away.
Do you feel like that's almost this unduplicatable thing you had?
Absolutely.
Let me ask you this. If you were able to achieve it once, why don't you think you can achieve it again?
You're right. And when I was on the Journeyman pod, we spoke about this. He was like, you think you'll ever have that again? And I was like, no. Because I met her, I was 23. She was 19, about to be 20. And I wasn't at the same stature that I am now, or influence, or whatever the case may be. And not that my life is set in stone now, but it's way different than it was when I was 23, right?
Yeah.
And so I always wanted to be with a girl that knew me before everything else. That'll never happen.
Sure.
Right? So from that standpoint, no. But I do think, because I learned a lot through it too. Like we spoke on an internal that we did the other day, would you ever go back and change anything? And I'm like, if you asked me that 6 months ago, absolutely. I would have said, take me back 5 years. Let me start fixing the things that I know now that I need to fix. But now it's more on the end of, I wouldn't go back because this was supposed to happen.
Yeah.
Whatever's meant to be will be. And I learned so much through that yes, I do think that I could have something similar to that at some point, but I just don't know when I'm going to be open to it.
Yeah.
You know, because I am healing. I'm getting over it. She ain't coming back. It is what it is, you know, but it's been tough. One of the questions I want to ask you and that I love so much is the name of the pod is Of Stone and of Clay, right? And the duality behind that, I could relate to that because with my streetwear brand, I use roses a lot. And I feel like there's duality in roses. You give roses when someone dies. You give roses in a romantic way. And everything in between, celebration, whatever. It could be happy, it could be sad. So I just want to know what that duality means to you. And because clay is fragile and stone is strong, right? What does that duality mean to you? Why'd you pick that name? And how do you balance that yin and yang every day, especially throughout your content?
Yeah, I think so many times in life we want the narrative for our lives to be whatever we've decided it is, and we can be pretty black and white in that. We like to say like, hey, that's just how I am, man, you know? And so I like the idea that every single part of me is both stone and clay, right? There's every part of me is malleable and changeable and soft, but there are also parts of me that are set in stone and that are firm. But stones aren't immutable. You know, stones can also be broken. They can be ground to dust, but you know, they can be ground to dust and then turned back into clay and then made into stone again. So to me, it's sort of this cyclical thing that it's almost like if my heart is crushed and destroyed, which it has been, I'm like, okay, it'll reheal. It'll rebuild itself. And I don't feel like love is a finite thing. I feel like, and here's the problem is when you're in the throes of heartbreak, you don't really think straight.
Hell no.
You're in a malaise, right? You're in an emotional fog. And so you can't help but think some pretty negative things. But the truth is, you have an eternal amount of love to give and to receive. And that infinite amount, because it's infinite, it never lessens. We just, when we're going through pain, it feels like, dude, I got nothing left to
the
give.
perspective changes, yeah.
You know, you think, I couldn't handle getting my heart broken again. I would cease to exist, you know, but I just don't think that's true.
Yeah. I love the James Sexton, the divorce lawyer. You know him?
Yeah.
He has that take about love where he was like, no matter how much we've been hurt and we say we're never going to do this again, we still sign up for it because that's what love does. When we know inevitably it will eventually break our heart, whether it comes to death or they leave us, but we still do it.
Yeah.
And
heaven forbid we leave them.
Right.
It does become harder though. No? It would take a lot for a girl to sweep me off my feet to be like, okay, I want to try
fresh.
again. Yeah, I know.
You're
It's been
still
six,
fresh.
I know,
6
I know.
months is fresh,
I
you
know.
know? But
yeah.
It feels like 6 years, but yeah, I know.
But I just feel like once you can finally heal, you like tell yourself, I'll never, I mean, dude, it's like drinking, at least for me. You wake up hungover the next morning, you're like, I'm never drinking again.
Yeah.
And
then you rally.
And then you know, and then when that's it, you know, when the occasion arises, you're like, you know what? I'm good again.
Yep.
You know, I'm all right.
Yep.
I feel good. I'm hydrated. I got my electrolytes in, like whatever. But that's the same thing with love. Like you get heartbroken and you're depressed and you don't want to leave the bed and you don't want to talk to your friends and you can't even look at another woman because all you can think about is this one girl in your life that swept you off your feet. And it gets to a point, it's like, all right, well, am I going to accept this reality and just be alone for the rest of my life? Or am I going to choose to be happy?
Yeah.
I can't make her be with me.
Yeah.
And I can't.
And I tried.
I
Right.
tried.
And that's the difference too, where it's just like how much are you going to pour into someone that doesn't want to be there?
Yeah.
And I think that's like something I always struggled with attachment issues and just like I give them so much and it's like, dude, if they wanted to be there, you wouldn't have to question it.
Yeah.
If you have to like beg someone or try to convince someone to stay in your life or be your partner or fall in love with you, is that the person you actually want to be in love with?
No. And here's the problem is I couldn't agree more with that statement, but with the right type of girl, the reality is I am fully willing to beg. If I feel like I'm about to lose her, right? Because at that point, it's just a Hail Mary. And I'm like, if this is what it takes to get her back, great. But I also agree, like, I shouldn't have to do that, you know?
Right,
So it's a weird dichotomy.
Yeah, because even if she does come back after you beg or after you, like, you know, you try to do everything to hold on to her, does she really want to be there?
Yeah.
Yeah, or did you force her to be there? So what a lot of people have told me that like even if she were to come back at some point, it'll never be the same. And still, my perspective is, nah, I'll make it work.
Sure.
You know, like that dichotomy you were talking about. You shouldn't have to beg, but like if the begging works, I'll take it. You know, but you shouldn't feel like that
Because you're acting out of desperation at that point.
Absolutely, and it's not love in a way. I mean, it is. I think. Very heavy on there's a difference between being in love and just like having love for somebody. So there's like a major difference there. But yeah, bro, that's tough, man. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That's not easy.
I've always said like, I mean, this clip has went viral a million times and I don't want to like reiterate it, but it's just like, like once someone chooses to leave, and walk out of my life like I'm not good enough for them.
Yeah.
It just shows that like they didn't value me enough.
Yeah.
And they put themselves in a position that I may never come back. If they want to later down the road come back into my life, they were okay with the idea that I might not want to do that anymore.
Right. Right.
So that means that they were okay. You know, they were totally fine. Like, all right, I can go the rest of my life and not have him in my life, and I'll be all good. I don't want someone to come back after they were okay with disposing me.
Right. Yeah.
And that's why I can never look at you the same. If you were like, I don't need you in my life, cool.
Yeah.
I'll be heartbroken for a little bit, but once I get over it, I promise you I'm over it.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
And you can't manufacture that. Like that's what inspires me the most. Honestly, that's where I get most of my inspiration. Do you think that you could get inspiration from peace and not just chaos? Because that's chaotic. You know what I mean? And one of my bittersweet things that for me, I really do feel like I thrive in chaos. I thrive when my back is against the wall and I have no other option, whether that's work, whether that's relationship. Do you think that you could still get to the point that you're at now, being as vulnerable and transparent, and then add those together as successful as you are without going through those heartbreaks that you went through? Because that perspective is everything.
Right. Right. I don't know, man. And it's funny, you know, this one girl that I've talked about in so many of my clips, like that was never the intention of the podcast. You know, I never wanted to like sort of use that pain as like content. Right. But I also just want to be honest and talk about what I'm feeling. And the crazy thing is, dude, I'm so like, this is going to sound weird, but I'm so like proud of where you're at right now, because I remember when I was a few months out, I couldn't even talk about it. Like I remember a buddy of mine on a podcast like asked me a question and I like felt myself welling up and I'm like, dude, I'm not going to make it through this episode. I now have some time and some space where I feel like I can go deep into it and I might still tear up, but yeah, those first months, it's so raw. And a lot of times you think, you know, the nature of grief, you think you're fine. And then you start talking about something and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm actually devastated right now.
This happened to me the other day when I did an episode on Avi's, and he just was asking me questions that he's asked me off camera that I was fine. But for some reason I sat down and he started asking, and I'm like, what the fuck is happening? I feel like I'm about to start crying. You know what I mean? But if you don't mind, and I would give my story, no problem. I'm just wondering what happened between you and whoever you were with prior to get to this point, because I know how deep the hole has to be to feel that feeling. Right? It has to. This isn't shallow. Right? This was serious. So I'm just curious.
Yeah. You know, for me, it was very much, we didn't even date a very long time. And that's part of the reason why after we broke up, I felt a lot of shame and embarrassment, because I'm like, how am I so destroyed? Like, it wasn't some 7-year relationship. It was a pretty brief moment in time, but I was just overtaken by her. And she was, to me, the absolute pinnacle of like what I wanted in a woman. And more than anything, because I could talk to you for hours about how beautiful I thought she was, how charming and funny and smart and all these things. But above all else, it was just how she made me feel, right? She made me feel alive in a way that was brand new to me. And I feel like I've got a decent amount of joie de vivre. Like, I feel like I'm alive. But she brought something that was brand new. And I'm like, okay, how am I supposed to live without this now? You know, I got a taste of this emotional drug, and now I'm just withdrawing forever, you know? And so with me and her specifically, it came down to, and I haven't gone deep into the specifics, more out of respect for her and her privacy, but just being in different stages of life. I was a little bit older than her, and when I say a little, I mean a lot. And she, just wasn't ready to move forward. And obviously that's also just what I was told, right?
True.
I'm sure there's other elements, but at the end of the day, what I have found in my healing journey is that obsessing over the why just is not helpful.
Not even a
right?
little bit.
And you can't help it, right? But I also think it's a bit of a misnomer that if we just got this specific amount of closure, we'd feel infinitely better. And it's like, dude, you're still without her. You're still jilted, rejected, without, bereft. You're not with her. So you're just as sad. It's like somebody's, giving you a scientific definition of why they don't want to be with you. It's like, well, okay.
The outcome's still the same.
Yeah.
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 Right.
So yeah, I think the deep chasm that I was in that you referred to was just because of how wonderful it was, and that makes the breakup that much worse.
I think those relationships that are shorter are a lot harder to bounce back from than, say, a 3, 4, 5 year relationship. Because I think once you've spent that much time with someone and it didn't work out, there's so much you can look back on and reflect, right? You've kind of played your cards.
Yeah.
You got everything that was going to come out of this outside of if you didn't have a kid yet or you didn't get married.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like that situation, it played out. When you're with someone for that, maybe a month to 6 months, and all is the honeymoon phase.
Yeah. Yeah.
And not only do you have that amazing time, which is usually the best parts of relationships, like those first 6 to 8 months.
Yeah.
Now you have the future and the potential that you've set for the rest of your life that you think you're going to spend with them, and then it gets stripped from you.
Right.
So you don't only have to let them go physically, you have to let go of all the ideas, the potential, and the future that you made up in your mind that doesn't exist once you let them go physically. So they walked out, you can't keep them here. But to get that love and that idea out of your mind, that's what breaks you.
Yeah. Yeah, mourning the future is a really complex emotion, But you're right. I look back at our relationship and I'm like, because it was so brief, I don't have like a single negative memory. We were just together all day, every day, having fun, going out to eat, just talking till 3 a.m. And then all of a sudden I was erased from the planet,
That clip that you commented on mine when I broke down.
Yeah.
That was a girl that I spoke to for about 5 weeks. Never met her.
Wow.
She lived in Texas.
Wow.
And that's how much I fell for her.
Yeah.
Like when she came in, I was like, oh, like she's the one. Because I wasn't looking for her.
Right.
I was so hell bent.
You're
I
on
said
the
it on a
opposite
million
of looking for
pods.
somebody,
I don't
yeah.
want a relationship. I've seen because my last relationship before that, like really torment. It was narcissistic. It was toxic.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
messy. And I was like, you know what? I'm done. I'm good for a while. I've never been single really in my 20s.
Yeah.
Let me just live my life and just not have to worry about it because I know what women do to me when it doesn't go well.
Yeah.
And then she just came creeping in.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, boom. And then gone. And that's why it was a month. I never met her, but I've never felt like that for someone because all I knew was good.
Right.
Conversation was amazing. Made me feel at home. I thought about the future. I had the trip planned to go meet her in person. And I thought about the first time I see her and hug her and and then boom, it's just stripped from you.
Yeah.
So that's why, like, damn, yeah, it's so hard. But I wanted to ask you, because this is something that I battled with her. Do you believe there's a soulmate? Do you believe there's a soulmate or like the right one? Or is love more about like commitment and choosing them every single day?
Right. I've battled with this question. I feel like it's a bit of a mixture. I don't feel like there's one person for everyone. If that was the case, most of us are screwed. Yeah. Right. I do believe somebody becomes your soulmate, but I just know for myself that soulmate level love that I'm looking for is incredibly rare and hard to foster and hard to hold on to. And so, and so much is based on proximity, right? Who you're meeting, who are in your circles, right? And obviously with the internet and having a platform, that can expand a little bit, but there could be 5 girls that are perfect for you that live in Europe. You'll probably never meet them. Congratulations, you know? And maybe one of them follows you from the pod and you comment and you slide in the DMs and it starts working and you fall in love. But so I think there's ultimately, you know, there's 8 billion people on the planet. I think ultimately there's probably a couple thousand that would be soulmate level love, right? But if you think about it statistically, like that's brutal, right? And maybe I'm pulling these numbers out of my my keister, but I don't think there are that many because I've dated for a lot of years when I've been single. I'll go on 3 or 4 dates a week for 2 years in a row, and of all those girls, I feel like maybe in a year, maybe 2 or 3 really catch my eye, and really I feel that same level of connection with. And I'm like, gosh, dude, that's so hard.
Does it scare you when you feel like that because you've been hurt before?
When I start to feel that,
yeah,
it excites me.
Okay.
Yeah. I think I've been hurt enough that I'm not impervious to it, but I'm kind of just like, yeah, this is the risk involved. You know, if you're an entrepreneur, if you start a company, you know, it could go belly up.
Oh yeah.
You know? So, yeah, it excites me, but I always say, you know, I live with my best friend and we're like similar age and pretty similar life in a lot of ways. And we always say the second you start to like somebody, you're toast.
You're fucked.
like, and the part of the problem is you can't act nonchalant when you really start to fall for someone, especially if you can tell that you are falling a little bit earlier than they are, right? And so it's so hard to just be cool and just chill out. And the funny thing is, if you would just be cool and chill out, it would help you. Like laws of attraction, it would simply help you. But you're just like, this girl is so great, I can't screw it up. So my texts have to be pristine. My timing has to be great. My fits have to be perfect. Everything. I got to be dialed.
Yeah, you're overanalyzing everything.
Yeah, you got to be dialed.
Yeah.
But it's funny. When I first met this girl that I'm talking about, we immediately clicked. We met one night. We like met at a party, and then a bunch of people came back and were hot tubbing at my buddy's house. And in the hot tub, we were just like, I felt like Dave Chappelle. Like everything I said was funny, was gold, was intelligent. And it's funny. Afterwards, I was talking to my buddy, and he's like, bro, she's eating out of the palm of your hand. She like, but he said, here's the thing about her. He's like, she makes you more funny. She makes you more charming. It's her effect that is making you so good. And I was just like, yeah. And it felt effortless. It wasn't like I was like, okay, I'm going to be the funniest guy in the room right now. We were just, I don't know, something cosmic was happening.
It's just crazy how somebody can enhance you like that.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And it's scary too, because like what we spoke about on our last is when you meet somebody that you think now that you need, right? Because they make you better, your life is better, they make you feel good, and then they're gone. It kind of does, and I don't know if this is a science thing, but I'm pretty sure I read something somewhere that like that withdrawal is very similar to like a drug withdrawal. Yeah. So then like, what do? You know what I'm saying? Like, so my question to you is like being an author, a podcaster, a creator, and then also going through the things that you've been through, being vulnerable, being transparent. How do you stay inspired creatively to keep on? I'm not even talking about pushing forward in your everyday life, like you're on your wake up. I'm talking about work.
Yeah.
It's very difficult, as bittersweet as it is to be able to come on the pod and like let all my sadness out in a way. It's hard to do that, you know? Yeah. So I'm just curious as to how, because you're a little further along in this journey than we are. And I don't think that that's ever going to go away. I think we're always going to go through the peaks and valleys. But when I'm in a valley, it's very hard for me to get back up. And talking to someone who, again, is a little further along, I'm just curious as to how you snap back into it when you're feeling down.
Yeah. I think it's just, I mean, you view it different ways, right? There's certain parts of it that you just view as like, this is work. I got to put my work boots on and go to work. But then there are other parts that I'm like, okay, I need to do this, not because it's potentially a great clip or it's going to make a great episode. I need to do this for me, right? And so I'm trying to sort of mine my life. I'm trying to leave no stone unturned. And so if there's something I'm reticent to talk about, it probably means I should come on the pod and talk about it, you know? And so, but I don't think I would have been able to get through some of those valleys if I didn't have the kind of friends I have.
100%.
You know, if I didn't have people to send a voice message to at 3 a.m. of me crying, you know, and knowing that that's going to be received in a beautiful way. But I think you also have to find new ways to talk about the same things.
Yeah.
You know, and so because like I said before, we can really get stuck in certain narratives. And so I just try to approach even my feelings with, this is what I think, but I could be way off. I don't know. I might be wrong.
Yeah, we don't know everything.
And that's why I love talking to other people, because sometimes you're like, oh, wow, I didn't really thought about it that way, you know?
Yeah. It's a beautiful thing, especially this. That's why I love doing this.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny with this, like, you know, you see people in like creative spaces and they talk about creative ruts, right? And sometimes that's just something you can't manufacture, like something, it just has to hit. You have to see the right piece of art or be in the right city or have the right conversation, right? And that can kind of get you out of that. With this podcast, with just doing a podcast and speaking about the things we speak about, we almost like need things to happen in our life to have things to talk about.
Sure.
Or you talk about the same things kind of. And that's why it's like, this is just such a beautiful space and platform to have, because even when those bad times come in your life, a positive is going to come out of it, because if you're open to talk about it here, something's going to come out of it.
Yeah.
Like that clip you commented on, that was the day she ended it with me. I just drove over to Jake's house because I couldn't sit in my room anymore. I was like, I just need to be around someone.
Right.
And he was like, yo, whether you want to release it or not, I think we should just turn the cameras on and shoot a pod. If we ever release it, we release it.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
And now, like, what was the worst day of 2025 for me? I mean, it turned into probably 20 million views and a lot of followers, and I helped a lot of people, right? So it's just like being able to use that sadness and darkness to spread light and positivity indirectly, without even trying it. I think that's really cool.
Yeah. And, you know, it's been interesting. I've had a lot of people that will ask me like, well, dude, what's going to happen to your content when you get married? I'm like, dude, yes, there's maybe a large percentage of it that is about me being single and is about my heartbreak and about my journey. But ultimately, like I said, I just want to talk about what it means to be human. And so when I get married, the pod will be a lot about what it means to be married, you know, and what it means to see love evolve, and then what it means to have kids. And that's just my side. It has nothing to do with my guests, you know? So I think the human condition is something that happens in perpetuity. So you don't have to worry about running out of content.
Yeah.
No, you just got to get out there and experience life.
Yeah.
Art imitates life at the end of the day. It's a bittersweet thing.
Yeah.
Because it's good and it's bad. The pain and the love we could draw from both of them and create from both of them and create some of the best, at least for me specifically, I've made some of my best shit while I'm really, really deep in it.
Yeah.
Badly, not deep in it good.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Well,
saying?
and the thing is, people consume podcasts so differently. There are people that just come in for the clips and it's pretty casual and they love you for your raw emotion, right? But there are also people that follow you because they want to see you in a holistic way. They want to see your ups and your downs. They want to see when you're happy. They want to see when you're thriving. And it's funny, sometimes like I've heard you guys talk about this. There's almost this weird thing in your head that it's like, if we cry, if we're overly emotional, it'll probably do well.
Yeah.
Right. But it's funny. I've had just some random stuff on like my stories or whatever, where I'm just like laughing, playing with my nieces and nephews or something. And people will just flood my DMs and be like, we love seeing you happy. We love seeing your smile. You need to smile more or whatever. And it's a beautiful reminder that like,
It's New York, man.
Yeah, that's New York for you.
it's beautiful.
Yeah.
I feel at home.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just a beautiful reminder that it doesn't need to be about one side of your emotions.
Yeah.
It's just about you. It's just about life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's awesome, man.
Yeah, when I post smiling, I'll get a text from my mother. She's like, I love seeing you smile on Instagram instead of crying about some shit. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm working on it, Ma.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I went to Journeyman today and I got a haircut.
Yeah,
and they
yeah.
were just like, they were like, yo, you look lighter.
Yeah, hell
I like
yeah.
seeing Zach like that. So
Yeah.
I was like, yeah,
Yeah,
dude,
it's
me
beautiful.
too. No shit.
Right?
I wish this was, yeah.
Oh, man.
I wanted to ask you, like, how do you think you balance the fairy tale love that we have been told since we were a kid versus the reality of what love actually is?
It's hard because I feel like I've experienced fairy tale. You know what I mean? And so going back to what you said, where it feels impossible to not compare present people with your ex, right? I'm like, okay, I don't want to do that, but I do want to compare that feeling, you know? And so to me, that feeling is what the fairy tale is. You know, we can romanticize memories with anyone and with anything, but what's unrealistic is somebody that's perfect, somebody that makes you feel euphoria at all times and there's no conflict, right? But the fairy tale of somebody that makes you feel like, this is the reason I'm here on earth. This is the most important thing that's happening to me. This is why I was created, is to be with this person. I think that's a fairy tale that's achievable. And so, yeah, I'm like, I believe in the fairy tale. Let's have it.
Do you think, yeah, it's just so, I don't know, man, because I think with like soulmates and that fairy tale love, it's a feeling like you've never felt before. But then what happens when that person doesn't choose you? And then you end up with someone that chooses you, but you don't feel the same way that you felt with that person that you looked at as a soulmate.
Right.
And I just think that's just one of the toughest things, where it's like, there's a person that made you feel a feeling that you've never felt before. And you were like, oh, this is what Disney meant.
Yeah.
You know, this is what fairy tale love feels like.
Yeah.
But then they leave.
Right.
And then you find someone that likes you,
Yeah.
but you don't like them like you liked her.
Yeah.
And you probably could be with her and stay with her, and she would probably do everything for you.
You'd have some great mediocre love.
But you don't, you don't like really genuinely want to be with her.
And that's what makes love and dating so brutal. Because sometimes you're with a girl that you're like, dude, I'd be lucky to be with this girl. And she'd treat me right, and we could probably have a super happy, normal life. But I don't feel drawn to them. I don't feel like if they told me they were moving to Australia, I'd be like,
This ain't gonna work.
shoot, that's pretty far, you know? But with the right girl, she tells me she's moving to Australia. I'm like, well, I guess I'm going to Australia.
Are we going
Should I
to
start-
Melbourne?
should I start packing my
Are we going to
bags?
Melbourne or Sydney or
What's up?
I better find a new producer that lives
you
on the
like
Gold
kangaroos?
Coast.
Yeah.
But that's that game, though, of like the law and attraction that you were talking about too before, right? Because I don't know, bro. If you meet a girl and she checks off all the boxes physically without like getting deep with her, right? And she don't like you, you like her even more.
Yeah.
But if she does like you, you're like, oh,
Yeah, it's
what's up?
yeah,
know what I'm saying?
that beginning period, it's like before there's completely mutual attraction, it's calculated apathy, right? You're trying to play your cards right, and obviously you don't want to do that long term. You want to fully be yourself, but yeah, it's a little cat and mouse to see who's gonna like show their heart first.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
It's that game, and I refuse to play that game. It's
Yeah.
hard.
Bro, that's why like I feel that a lot. I had one girl that I used to talk to, and like we're still very cool. We're very close. I don't even know why it didn't really work out. Just kind of like things going on in our life, whatever. But as I was going through like that hard time, like that heartbreak couple April, May, whenever it was, I called her because she's just still like, I'm still close to her, man. And I value her opinion. So I called her and I was just talking to her about it. And she told me, because me and her spoke for probably about a year. We never really dated, spent some time together, whatever, in person. And she said to me, she was like, can I be honest with you? And I was like, yeah. And she was like, sometimes it feels like you're like a little too much, right? And I took that a little personal. And then I questioned myself, like, damn, am I too much? Am I over the top? And I was like, there's been girls that really liked me just for me, and I did the bare minimum. But then there's also been times where I was playing that cat and mouse game, and like I really wanted this girl, so I tried to show her that I really liked her. I wanted her to know, like, I'm a good guy. I'll do a lot for you. Like, I can be this type of guy. But I think that's the problem when you play that cat and mouse game and you try too hard to get them, because like you said, at some point you still have to go back to who you truly are. And now if that person doesn't like you for who you truly are, and they fall for the person that you perceived to be the first couple of months of just getting them, what's going to happen when you run out of, cat and mouse game? And you're like, all right, now I have to be me. That's why those things don't work. So I just think that's just something for me too, where it's just like, I don't think you're ever too much for someone. I don't think you're ever too little for someone. I don't think you have to play the, it's like, dude, just be yourself. I think that's how you find someone that you genuinely like. If you catch yourself saying things in text and thinking about what I should say and should I do this? Should I wear this? If she likes you for that, it's not even you.
Well, dude, it's, you know what I love to do? I love to look, and to be really frank, there's not very many examples I have, but there's a handful of couples that I just look up to and just love what they have. And not that I would necessarily like that there's jealousy, but just that I'm like, they have something really pure that I would love to have. They've got it figured out, right? And one of those couples, they're friends of mine. One of them's one of my best friends and his wife. And we went to dinner the other night, and my buddy's weird. Like, I love him to death, but he does the weirdest things all the time. And they're bringing out rolls and stuff before we order our food, and he's just, there's these little discarded bits of the roll that he's just not touching, and he calls it bad bread. And I'm just like kind of making fun of him, and I can just see his wife just looking at him like he's the cutest guy in the world because he's so cute with his bread, and I'll see him talking to the waiter, and she's just kind of looking at him like, I love how he talks to the waiter, and there was plenty of girls I knew that he dated. They were kind of annoyed with his shenanigans and his little idiosyncratic ways of being, but she just loves him. She just loves everything about him. She loves his soul, and that's what you have to look for, the right person would rather die than lose you, but we're just out here sending double texts. That's crazy. You know what I mean?
She texted me at 8:11 and I saw it at 8:12. Do I answer? Do I wait 5 minutes? If you're thinking like that with somebody, it's like red flag number one. This is not it. This is not it.
Well, or it could be it, but it's just you're you still have some work to do. You
Yeah,
know,
that's
you have
true.
some
You're right.
anxious attachment.
That's it. Yes, that's what I've noticed is that's like an insecurity, lack of confidence thing, right? Because the moment, and I think I think it transcends not only relationships, but it really just transcends your life. You're gonna get the best out of your life when you are the most secure and the most confident. And I've noticed that creatively, and I've also noticed that with women, is that when I feel comfortable being myself, all bets are off. It doesn't matter. I don't care if I just saw your text and I answer you within 5 seconds. I don't care if I called you 3 times a day. I don't care if I say good night, good morning. It doesn't matter, because I'm so comfortable with myself that if you don't like that, it's fine.
Yeah.
You know? And creatively too, I feel like that. But when it comes to women, I feel like they need to foster that environment for me to feel comfortable in a way, and that's rarely happened.
Yeah.
Rarely happened.
Yeah.
I've been very uncomfortable with women that just because maybe that season in my life I was uncomfortable with myself, right? So it was just like this double whammy. But it's very rare, less than a handful of times have I felt comfortable enough to truly be myself. And obviously my ex was one of them, because it was fucking 7 years. So that's probably why it hurts so much, because it's like, oh wow, I was in this comfortable state and now I just self-sabotaged it and now I'm uncomfortable again. But it's rare.
Yeah.
It's so rare.
Yeah.
You know?
How have you done with in this healing process? Because like you said, you feel like a lot of it was your fault for whatever reason.
Absolutely.
How have you done with giving yourself grace in this period?
No, yeah, I talk about this all the time. I spoke about it the other day, that I've checked off a lot of boxes in my healing journey that I needed to, but the one that I haven't yet is forgiving myself. And it's been the toughest one so far.
Yeah.
Because I did have that girl. She was great. She loved my soul. I loved her soul. I bled onto her a lot throughout our relationship. Not to get into details about it, I let the things that were going on outside of our relationship dictate what was going on inside of it. And I bled all over her. And she constantly kept on changing her clothes. And so finally she told me, I'm tired of buying new clothes.
Yeah.
Right? And the moment that she did that, and I saw her, when like I saw that she was like checked out and done, I knew I really fucked up something. I do think that everything happens for a reason, but I also think that sometimes you just make mistakes.
Yeah.
Right? And I think that sometimes those mistakes happen for a reason, but let's not get it twisted. It might soften the blow, but you're still getting punched.
Yeah.
You know? So I haven't yet. I haven't really given myself grace. It's been the most difficult thing for me so far, because I had everything that I said that I wanted and then self-sabotaged it.
Yeah.
So I'm finding it very difficult to forgive myself, and I won't start dating until I forgive myself, because I refuse to bleed on somebody else again and make that same mistake. So at least there's a positive, right? But that's where I've been at.
Do you feel, let me ask you a hard question. Do you feel like in not forgiving yourself and sort of holding on to that negative emotion, it's helping you stay tethered to her a little bit?
Absolutely. And I answered a comment on TikTok this one time, and I said, someone commented and said, "This too shall pass, all things pass." And I commented back to him. I said, you know what? It's funny. I said, I don't know if I want it to pass.
Right.
Because the moment that it passes is like the moment that I don't love her anymore. And I don't know if I ever want to I don't know if it's possible, but I don't know if I ever even want to get to that point where it's like, I don't love her anymore. I woke up today and didn't think about this person. In essence of what's going on, that's the goal, right? Because she's not there no more, and you're thinking about and yearning for someone who's not there anymore. But that's so hard, bro.
Yeah.
It's so hard, because I still feel bits and pieces of me will always be because of her, regardless.
Yeah.
Right? So to really cut that cord like that, there's one cord left. I have her initial on my ring finger.
Yeah.
I will never cover it up.
Right.
How am I going to be with, like, that's how I feel right now.
Yeah.
Am I ever going to be with somebody else and I got her initial on my ring finger? It's like the last line connecting the two of us that doesn't even exist anymore. It's invisible, you know? So until I feel comfortable enough in that, usually I wear a ring around it, and then that's like weird because you're not married. Well, you got a ring on that finger, so I try to cover it. But regardless, I'm in my head about it. And the moment that I'm not anymore, and I'm like, all right, cool, this doesn't matter. Let's cover it. Let's remove it, whatever. Then that's when I feel like I'll be able to. That's like my moment of forgiving myself.
Yeah.
Right. And I just haven't got there yet.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. I wanna ask you, because it seems like we had like similar situations of like the short stint.
Yeah.
Kinda. Because I don't know, maybe this is something that I've never taken like heartbreak well or losing someone. Always. I lost my mom when I was a kid. I was 12 years old. So I missed out on that. I guess just that feminine energy and love that I guess maybe I've always seeked. And I think that comes in a similar form in a partner. Just that feminine energy, right? Just that nurturing care, right? Like I didn't have that. So like when I get it from a girl, it's like, it makes me feel alive.
Right.
Like you were saying, like I'm like, damn, like this is all I've ever wanted.
Yeah.
Right. Now with that, I've always said I have attachment issues. Like, do you think you can mistake attachment for love? And what is the difference? Do you actually know what love feels like, or do you just have attachment issues? And that's something I ask myself.
Right.
Like, how do you look at that?
Yeah. You know, I've grappled with this thought because there's no definite line in the sand of, okay, now I'm officially in love, and that is a fact, right? A lot of times you're not even sure, and then you break up, and months later you're like, yeah, I for sure loved her, right? So there's a lot of things going on in your brain and in your heart. So long answer short, I don't know. I think sometimes the lines are so unbelievably blurred.
Yeah.
Right? Because, you know, it's funny. When me and this girl were breaking up, I told her, I don't know if this was a wise thing to say, but I said it. I said, if we keep dating, I'm going to be in love with you pretty darn soon, you know? And I wasn't ready to say it. It was really early, and I didn't think in my head, oh, I for sure am in love with this girl. But yeah, how do you quantify a feeling? Right? How do you quantify how much you think about somebody or what they mean to you? You know? So yes, when you haven't been together a long time, there is just some attachment involved. You feel validated by them. You feel seen. You feel, and dude, heaven forbid you're with a baddie, like you're out on the town, like that feels good. It
does.
You know, when you show a picture to your boys and they're like, bro,
you pulled that?
Nice. You know, instead of them just saying, well, as long as you're happy. That's the worst thing a homie could say to you. But
it makes you rethink.
You're like, oh shit.
What does that mean?
Yeah, I guess I'm not happy.
Yeah, right.
But
Not anymore.
Yeah, not anymore. I'm about to call her.
Oh shit.
But yeah, it's hard to decipher. So to me, I don't get caught up in semantically, was it love? Was it really love? Or was it just a lot of really strong emotions? It's like, well, they're pretty darn close. So I'm going to call it love.
Do you think you even know what love is?
I think I know as well as anyone else. I don't know that, I think there are different kinds of love. You know, there's obviously romantic love, there's platonic love, there's familial love, but love is also a spectrum. You know, so some people, you kind of fall in love with them a little bit. You definitely love them, but maybe you're not in love with them, or maybe you're not in love with them yet. Maybe it requires more time. And yeah, probably the person you end up with, hopefully, is on that other side of the spectrum where it's crazy, intense, beautiful love, soul expanding love. But what it is. It's such an ephemeral thing that's hard to explain. And that's because it's different with every person, you know, like it's funny. It sounds weird, but I look at some of my like best friends and I'm like, the love I have for them versus the love I have for a girl is not that dissimilar. It's just with romantic love, obviously there's physical intimacy, there's other things. And obviously a woman, take away all physical intimacy, they still make you feel different than a dude makes you feel, right? Even if one of your bros is like so loving and comforting and even has some feminine energy he brings to the table, it's just different, right? And so, but sometimes I look at my friendships and I'm like, this is definitely part of what I'm looking for, right? There's an ease, there's a flow, there's instant connection. We forgive each other really easily. We like when we have discord, like we come back really easily. You know, we're always looking out for each other. We got each other's backs. When something good happens, we want to share it with them. You know, when you get good news, who do you think about first? You know, and so
Right.
So yeah, what is the definition of love? It's like you could just define that for the rest of your life. You know, you could say, well, to me, the definition of love was when my dad was going through really extreme depression and my mom said, I'm not going anywhere. She had every option to leave, could have left. Things got pretty dark. She told me one time, she's like, I never even thought about leaving. She's like, that's my guy. That's your dad. I'm not leaving. To me, that's a great definition of love.
Yeah.
And so to me, I love to look for new definitions. You know, I want to, with the person I end up with, I want to love them in a million different ways. And that'll change over the years and that'll expand and it'll contract and it'll ebb and it'll flow. And I want to be a part of every type of that love.
Yeah.
Love
evolves.
I want to ask him a question that you asked me on our last pod. Now that he just said that, like, there's 3 different types of love. Do you think that you can be just friends with a woman and love her, not be in love with her, but have like that friendship style love to her? Do you think that that's possible between the opposite sex?
How much time we got? I will say yes, but I think it's incredibly rare and incredibly complex.
Absolutely.
Right? I would say in my entire life I've had maybe 2 or 3, and of those 2 or 3, one I don't talk to anymore. Don't even know why. She just I don't know. Another one I don't talk to anymore, and another one I love with all my heart, but we never really talk, right? And part of it is like she moved. We used to work together. We don't spend that kind of time anymore. But it's just so hard because even if on both sides it's completely platonic, the second somebody gets a boyfriend or girlfriend, it's so hard for their partner to understand what you guys have and to fully trust that it's just platonic. Especially dudes, it's like there's plenty of girls that you're willing to just be friends with, but you're like, but I mean, I would happily smash, you know?
Yeah.
That was my answer. That was literally
Very similar.
You know what I'm saying?
Very similar.
But I do think the gray area there, at least for me, is that a lot of my intimate relationships have started as being friends.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like, where is that gray area where it's like, okay, I meet this chick and we're just friends off the rip, and then maybe it blossoms into something else. And if it doesn't blossom into something else, well, then like that friendship just dies.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And that's why I'm so hesitant at times, because I don't want a friendship that has a definite expiration date,
Absolutely, yeah.
even if I don't know what the date is.
For sure.
But you also have to realize that a lot of friends come and go in your life, and that's okay.
Yeah.
You know, and I have really close friends that I never really see, but if we're in the same state, we'll get together and it's all love.
And nothing ever changes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's funny. I texted a girl last night that I got close with maybe 10 years ago. Really, really valued her friendship. And listen, she's a cute girl. We just never dated. She was always dating somebody. I was dating her friend for a minute. And now, she's been married for years and has kids, but her husband's a freaking G and likes me and knows that she texts me and he's so secure. He's not bothered. And so our friendship works.
That's a beautiful thing.
It exists.
Yeah.
But still, it's like the second I start treating her like one of my homies, like I'm hitting her up all the time and I'm FaceTiming or whatever, it starts to feel a little like, not that I would do anything wrong, but she's an attractive girl. And it's like, do I have some sort of ulterior motive? Not even that I would like have an affair, but more, am I feeling validated by her attention?
Yeah, just the thoughts behind
in
it.
in a slightly inappropriate way.
Absolutely.
So it's so complicated.
The gray area there is crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you, because I've thought about this, like, do you think someone that you felt that you loved, can you actually unlove them? And if you don't love them anymore, did you actually ever love them? Mm-hmm. Because there's a lot of girls in my life that I've said I love you to, that I've dated. It didn't work, and they're not in my life anymore.
Yeah.
I don't think about them.
Yeah.
I wish them nothing but the best.
Right.
But I have love for them, but I love you isn't the same as I once said it.
Yeah.
Now, does that mean that that love wasn't real? Or was it only real for that season in my life and then the love evolved? Or my idea of love evolved? Of what I thought was love at that point, it's not what love actually means to me now.
Yeah.
Do you think you can love and unlove someone?
I think both things you said are true. I think, and this is wishful thinking because I'm thinking about my ex right now, and I'm like, the love I had for her, hopefully one day, slowly over time, evanesces and becomes a platonic love. Right? It's still, I got love for you. I loved you, but I'm not in love with you anymore because I've met somebody new and I'm in love with them. But every time I think about you, it'll be like, yeah, we had something beautiful and I hope they're happy. And when it's too fresh, all those thoughts are really painful, and because you're imagining them with somebody else and you're imagining yourself with somebody else. And it's still too painful, but it's so like grotesquely cliche, but time just is the grand healer, And so with time, I do believe that I wouldn't call it unloving them. I would just call it an evolution of the love you once had.
Yeah.
Right. And it's an appropriate evolution.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. What do you think is worse? Losing someone because they didn't love you anymore, or you leaving someone because you outgrew them and you kind of fell out of love with them?
I mean, both will take years off your life, but there's just a different pain associated with rejection. Like it's really hard to leave somebody you really care about if you've outgrown them, or you just don't feel that way anymore, or you've just reached some sort of impasse, but it's much easier to get over. There's peace surrounded with it because you're like, I feel like I made the right decision for me, so I'm walking away. I can live with that. But when it's not your choice at all, and someone just walks away from you, you're like, you question everything.
Mm-hmm.
All of a sudden it becomes this existential crisis, and you wonder, you start going back to your childhood. You start thinking about your lovability, which can get really dark pretty fast.
Been there.
No, I mean, me too. Yeah.
Been there, man.
And I think my opinion on that has changed. I don't know. I'm so 50-50 with it, because I always said, like, I'd rather someone break my heart than me break someone else's heart, because I always know, like, I'll bounce back and I'll be okay.
Yeah.
I don't ever want to put someone through that pain that I know what heartbreak feels like, because I don't know how they'll recover from it. I don't know how they'll heal.
Here's what I don't want to do, because I'm not happy to, but I'm going to take care of myself. So I'm going to walk away if I know it's not right.
Mm-hmm.
But what I don't want to ever do is drag somebody along, making them think that I love them when I don't. That's ultimately malevolence.
What do you do when you are straightforward with them and you tell them, like, hey, like, I really don't see a future with you. I do like you though, and like, I enjoy your company.
Mm-hmm.
And then they still stick around and like continue to give you that same level of love, even though you told them, hey, I'm not trying to drag you around. I don't want this to be serious. I don't know if I see a future, or I'm maybe not looking for a relationship right now.
Yeah.
But they willingly stay.
Yeah.
And then you maybe immaturely or selfishly continue to keep them in your life. And then time passes by, and then they still get hurt in the long run, even though you were straightforward and honest with them.
Yeah.
It's even worse in the long run when they get hurt.
Yeah. I just try to, it's tough because we can all preach what is best practice, but sometimes, like, dude, I'll give you an example. I shouldn't even say this, but I will. There's a girl that I went out with like 6 or 7 months ago. We hung out for like 3 or 4 weeks, and it was awesome. She's a lot of things I want, but we were completely, fully misaligned spiritually. Just wanted different things. No disrespect on either side. Just, we ultimately would want to raise our kids differently. We come from different backgrounds. We just want different things. And so we kind of knew from the jump, this is probably not going anywhere, right? But man, she was just so nice. And like I said, because that level of connection I feel is so rare, when I feel it, I'm like, I got to give this a chance. I got to, And so I kind of kicked against the pricks for a few weeks, tried to give it a chance, and ultimately she was kind of like, I think one of us is just going to get hurt. I think we should stop hanging out. And I'm like, you're probably right. So we did. And lo and behold, a couple weeks ago, like, she commented on one of my stories, and we started talking again, and she's like, I miss you. We should hang out. And I'm in my head, I'm like, this is such a frivolous endeavor. But also, here's what happened. I messaged her and I said, hey, listen, let's hang out. Let's not overthink it, but let's communicate. If this is becoming hard for you or for me, let's stop. But what I found was we just went and kind of caught up, went to a movie, and I walked away feeling like this was actually really positive, because it reminded me that this is out there. This level of connection is out there. These types of girls actually like me back, right? And the banter we have, all the good things, they're there, and they're there in abundance. And sometimes you need that reminder, and you do have to be careful, because you don't want to fall for somebody that's not available, and you don't want to avail yourself if you're not available. But ultimately, I think it was a positive thing. And it's funny, a buddy texted me and was like, bro, you had a date tonight. How was your date? And I said, unfortunately, it was amazing.
That's funny.
That is,
That is good. That's
yeah,
good. That's
fortunately, it was amazing.
when you've been through it and you're not available, you still do want to like feel alive.
Yeah, you
in
want
a way.
connection.
You know what I mean? Like you
Yeah.
still want to go and like you said, make connections, but there is a crazy gray area there for sure, and you got to be careful. Not only with other people, that's important too, but like with yourself,
Yeah.
right? Because at least me specifically, I don't want to start talking to somebody and like you said, she's great, and maybe I do start to feel something, but there's still something holding me back, and now I'm like, fuck. I fucked myself up and I fucked you up.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's.
I just
it's
think
not
you
easy.
have to be careful to not say, I want to be 100% healed first, because just like it's almost impossible to define when am I in love, when am I almost in love, it's like, when am I 90% healed, when am I 98%, when am I good, you know?
I don't know if I could be, honestly, bro, like, I don't know if I could get 100% healed without someone else.
Yeah.
In a way, if you think about it, I think maybe I could get to 75 or 80 on my own. But the stage that I'm at in my life, I'm not 20 anymore. I'm 31. Like, I think that in order for me to, I think someone would have to, and I don't know if this is toxic, I don't know if this is right, and I don't know if this is wrong, I just know it's what it is. And I think that even if I got to 90% healed, I think to really cap off in the cherry on top, that last 10%, I might have to meet somebody that really like puts the stitch into me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I don't know if that's healthy. Maybe it's not. Maybe we should be able to heal ourselves, but I just don't know. I don't think so that I'll ever be able to get to that level without the help of a female companion, but on like some real shit. Not a female companion that I met out at the club or out at the bar and we had a little casual fling or whatever. It would really need to be, that's going to make it even worse. That's going to take my healing from 80 back down to like 50, you know, from a mental standpoint. I think that in order for me specifically, and I'm sure maybe some of the listeners too, and we make that mistake, we jump into shit when we're healing and we try to see what sticks and that's, again, going to set you back. But in order to really heal, like I can envision myself at my future wedding one day saying like, this girl healed me, you know, and I think that I would need that to really heal. You know what I'm saying? You could try to heal all you can, but like you need to go to physical therapy to really get it done. You need a doctor to really get it done. I think I would need the right woman to really cap that off for me.
Well, I think any good love will heal parts of you.
Absolutely.
You know,
Yeah.
and it might not, you might feel like you don't need like grand healing from an ex necessarily, but yeah, I think great love will show you parts of you that you didn't know were broken.
Hell yeah.
You know?
Hell yeah. That's
I think there's parts of me that like, just hearing that, like, I don't even know if I ever want to be 100% healed.
I don't think it's possible.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That too.
I think I like the pain sometimes because I've said it a lot. Like sometimes like feeling that pain and knowing that there's something that is like hurting me, it keeps me alive.
Yeah.
It makes me feel alive. Even though the emotion isn't good, even the emotion that like it hurts, you know, like whatever I'm feeling right now, like it's causing me pain, but at least I'm present.
But you're way more awake, right? Like
Yeah.
I was on the subway today and I saw this couple just like holding hands and looking into each other's eyes. And did it cause me a certain level of pain? Sure. But it was also beautiful and I was grateful to see it. And I was grateful that I didn't like turn away and like scoff. Like I'm happy to be a little bit sad all the time, honestly.
No, me too. I'm the same way. Like I'm like naturally like just I listen to sad music. I like kind of like sad movies.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I
same.
like hearing sad
But dude, when I'm happy
stories.
though, it's real.
Yes. That's the other end to that.
You know
for
what
sure.
I mean? Like I'll feel sadness maybe more than a lot of people, and without it necessarily being clinical, you know, chronic depression. I don't think that's necessarily what it is, but because of that, I feel like my capacity for joy is really immense.
My thing is the things that make me happy, I don't know if that's what I want to make me happy. Like there's things that in my mind, I'm like, this thing should make me happy, but it doesn't. And then the things that actually make me happy and bring me joy, I'm not so proud of.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm like, you know what? I'd rather just be sad because this feels more like me.
This works for me. This
works.
fits.
You know?
Yeah.
Because the thing when I chase happiness and chase that dopamine rush and chase that feeling of like whatever this is, not that good.
Yeah.
The things that are supposed to make me happy or the things that people tell me make you happy, they don't.
Yeah.
And I'm just searching somewhere else for it. And then I find it, but it's not in a place that I should be looking.
Yeah, in the wrong place.
And that's been like my like weird thing with that, where it's just like I like, because there are times where like, I mean, dude, right now I'm so happy. Like there was a moment, I don't know, maybe 30 minutes ago in the pod, and I don't know, this happens to me a lot on podcasts, especially when I'm listening. And I was just looking, like, bro, I was looking at like Avi go live and like check the cameras, and John's here and you're here from fucking Utah and we're in Brooklyn and Williamsburg, and I don't know, yeah, I get these moments of just clarity, man, and I'm just like, damn, like this is awesome what we're doing, like, and I'm like so appreciative of them, and like obviously we just lost like a brother, Jake, and like he just stepped away from the pod, and it just like all kind of hit me like, damn, we're here right now. It's so weird, but like I was like, damn, I feel good. I love doing this, you know, and like this makes me happy. So like there's certain things where I get those hits, but I don't, watching a sunset, everyone says it's awesome. Mm-hmm. It's cool.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of other things that make me way more fucking happy
Sure.
than watching a sunset. But I wish a sunset made me happy.
Yeah.
But my dopamine's all fucked up.
Yeah.
So watching a sunset is like, yeah, no, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But where are we going? What are we doing?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I
What's the
gotta,
moves?
you know, but when I'm sad, dude, I could bury myself in it. I'm on all my algorithms. They listen. Boom, I'm there. The podcasts I'm watching, the conversations I'm having, the music I'm listening to, the movies I'm watching, everything. My whole life. I mean, just a drive, just a car drive by yourself.
Yeah.
Different.
You know what I think's way more important than happiness is gratitude.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I struggle with.
And but you were just talking about how grateful you were to be here, you know.
Right now.
And that's sure. And that's part of, you know, gratitude is so connected with being present.
Yeah.
You know. And for me, I think there was a lot of periods in my life where my goal was happiness. My goal was to chase happiness, find things that make me happy. And now it's more, I want to chase gratitude. And within gratitude, you find bits of joy here and there. And I want to find bits of joy in everything I do, the mundane things, you know, like I really, and I'm going to sound like a stupid tourist, but I really, really enjoyed my ride on the subway over here. Mm-hmm. It's like 45 minutes, packed to the brim. I just loved it because I'm just like, I'm in this city, and I think I was just having a moment of gratitude where I was like, dude, I flew to New York City by myself to do a podcast with some dudes I've never met. Like, am I living the dream? Like, am I inside of a dream that I had been working towards for years? The answer is yes.
Yeah.
You know, and part of that dream is getting on the subway and going to Williamsburg and just sort of being in the midst of humanity. And that's part of the reason why I love really big cities is there's an element of chaos.
Of course.
Right? And there's just so much humanity. Yeah. There's so much going on. And if you kind of just look around, you can realize that like everybody has such incredibly nuanced, crazy, complicated, sad lives. And it kind of helps you get out of your own crap, you know?
Yeah. It's energy.
Yeah.
You could feel energy.
Yeah, people always talk about like, yeah, there's this energy to New York,
And
and it's like that's kind of true.
no, there is, dude.
And I think that we take that for granted a little bit,
Right.
Because
we're
we
from
get too
here.
close to something,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
don't see it, say it all the fucking
I
time.
know.
Yeah.
I love New York the most when I'm not here,
Yeah,
in a way, right?
Because you realize all the flaws in every other city, and it's
Yeah.
like, damn, this ain't New York.
The grass ain't greener on the other side.
and
motherfucker.
listen, there's plenty of things that make New York very difficult,
Absolutely.
and
The cost of living.
yeah,
That's all we do is complain about those things too.
Yeah.
Right.
You know,
But yeah, there's just so much happening.
I know.
Yeah,
but I could go grab a bagel at 4:00 in the morning. So
Dude, I could go get my, like, if
You
I
know
got
what
a
I'm
flat,
saying?
I could go get a tire change right now.
Right up the
you know?
block.
I could.
yeah,
There's just so much you could do.
it really
Yeah.
is the city that never sleeps.
dude. Last
know?
last night, listen to this. This is so New York. I was so grateful to be a part of this moment. I'm in my hotel. I got back, had a late flight, so I get to my hotel. It's like 11 p.m. and I'm like, I'm hungry. I didn't want to buy another $30 meal at the airport. That's not good.
Yeah.
And so I get back to my room and I just kind of Google what's close, what's open. And there's a taco truck like a mile away and it's open till 2 a.m. I'm like, bet. Let's go get some tacos. It's like raining. So I'm like, I'm just going to walk there, enjoy the night. And I get there. Of course, they don't speak a single word in English. That's when you know it's good tacos.
Oh hell yeah!
You know, they don't even greet you in English. They just say like "¿Qué quieres?" "¿Qué onda?" And I'm like, I guess I know Spanish, so I'm like, okay, that's fine. But they just start asking you in Spanish what you want. So I go to order and then I forget, like it says cash only, and I'm not strapped with cash. I don't go anywhere with cash. And so I just kind of walk away with my head down. And I talked to this like Mexican dude in the line. I was asking him what I should get. And I'm walking away and I'm like, that's fine. I saw another food truck. I'm walking away and this guy that I was talking to in line's in his truck. And he's like, what happened? And I was like, bro, I don't have any cash. And he's like, come here. And he's like, he just gives me a 20 and he's like, go get 5 tacos. That'll get you 5 tacos. I'm like, dude, I'm good. I don't need your. He's like, no, please. You have to try these tacos. I'm like, all right, dude, I'll take your money. And, you know, of course I'm like, do you have Venmo? Do you have anything?
Yeah,
He's like, no. He's like, just take the money. And then I bring him his change and he's like, no, forget it. I don't need it. And I was like, I like threw the change at him, but, I'm just like, yeah, dude, this is New York.
No, it's a beautiful thing because you know what? A lot of from a lot of outsiders, you'll come here and you'll think that New York is very abrasive, and it can be, but like there's still that somebody that just really wanted you to experience those fucking tacos.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's beautiful, bro.
Yeah, even Avi said today, like he was like, yo, I saw Taylor was at like a taco truck. We should take him to our spot.
Oh, yeah.
We have a taco truck over
Oh,
here.
yeah.
If
That
you
we
want
go
to try
to.
them after,
Yeah.
I mean, hey,
Yeah,
it's right
yeah.
around the corner.
Right around the corner. It's
Hey,
amazing.
It's the best.
Yeah, I told people I'm coming to New York to podcast and to eat.
Hell
Yeah. No,
So-
yeah. I mean, these are burrito tacos.
Yeah, yeah.
So good.
It's like the staple spot.
Nice.
We're
I'm
probably
down.
gonna go after.
Oh,
Absolutely.
Would love to take you there.
Let's get involved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, one thing I wanted to we just talked New York and tacos. Let's get back into the fun stuff. This is something that like I've struggled with a lot. Of like, I just always feel like I pour into people that maybe don't pour into me. Mm-hmm. And I question myself, like, why do I do that? You know, I feel like in relationships, I've done that sometimes where I'm like, I give so much in the relationship and then it's not reciprocated. And now I feel like I'm like constantly chasing. But I've also had situations where I like them, but I really don't like them. If they want to go, they could go, but they're playing the chasing game with me. Yeah. But now I'm questioning myself. I'm like, damn, like, yeah, I want to keep them around, but I know morally it's not right.
Right.
And like, I should be honest with them. Right. But like, I'm just at a point now, like I'm so done pouring into people that like don't pour into me at all. And the only time they need me is when it's convenient for them.
Right.
And I don't want to play that game anymore.
Yeah.
You know? Like I'm just so tired of just being someone's safety phone call or safety text message when they need something or they're bored because they know I'll always be there because I'm a good person.
Right.
When you have a good heart and you're a good person, people take advantage of that.
Sure.
And you don't even realize it because you're just such a good person.
Yeah.
And then you realize like, bro, there's nothing left in your cup.
Right.
You're pouring like, bro, you're looking for a drop. There's nothing left.
Yeah.
Because you're just pouring into this cup, this person, this girl, that. And then and then you look in the mirror and you're like, damn, like I don't even do anything for me anymore.
Right.
And I don't even and even the people I pour into, it's never even reciprocated.
Right.
And then when I actually need them for one, like I'm the last person to ask someone for help.
Yeah.
But sometimes we're all human. I need fucking help. Mm-hmm. You're nowhere to be found.
Right.
What is that with this like generation and society and social media that we're living in? Like, why does everything seem so transactional, but it's never reciprocated? Everyone's looking to gain, but nobody's looking to give.
Right. Yeah, I think I would count myself really lucky and say that a lot of my relationships and friendships are very well reciprocated, but I think you get to that point by doing what you're doing, by giving and giving and giving, and then you find your people that are also givers, and I think ideally you find some sort of system where you can tell pretty quickly if they're not a giver, and then you go in the other direction, right? And maybe you don't give so much so quick. You say, I'll give you the whole world, but it's going to take a minute, Right. That's kind of my philosophy. Like, if you're one of my boys, like, you can ask for anything and you're going to get it.
Hell yeah.
If you're like my sister sometimes will ask me to babysit at the worst times I could ever imagine. I'm like, yeah, I'll be there, and sometimes you can get in your head and be like, man, they're asking me for stuff more often than I'm asking for them. But with the real ones, it's not about keeping score. Mm-hmm. It's just knowing like, well, when I do need something, they'll be there in a heartbeat, Mm-hmm. And we all have different seasons of life. So maybe I need more right now. Maybe they need more right now. And so I try not to get caught up in, am I always the one reaching out? Am I always the one initiating? Because I also know that I have some friends that if I never reached out to them, I'd probably never see them again, right? Maybe not so dramatically, but
maybe
I would rarely see them. I'm always the one initiating. But I realized that's because it's not because they don't value me or they don't value our friendship. It's because I value our connection. I value friendship in general more than they do. Maybe I have more bandwidth for it. Maybe I'm in a place in my life where I need friendship more than they do. Mm-hmm. But because I'm getting something out of that friendship, I'll keep reaching out first. I'm gonna put my ego aside and say, if the relationship's worth it, I'll be the one that reaches out. If they're not good at it, I'll keep doing it, And maybe that sucks a little bit, but I'm like, is it worth, if that person's worth staying in your life, I'll keep reaching out. I don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah, when they're your people, they're your people.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just such a, I don't know. This is something, like that I just deal with a lot. And like, I just always think of like, if they wanted to, they would.
Yeah.
Type of mindset. And, man, it's just like, I feel like I've never had, maybe, and that's why I've never felt like I've met my person truly, of like and I'm talking about like a partner outside of that one girl that isn't here anymore.
Yeah.
And that was the first time I ever felt like I don't have to be anything other than me. Mm-hmm. And it seems like if she wanted to, she would, and she's doing. Yeah. And she's doing it, And it's that thing, like I feel like men, at least for me, like I struggle a lot with the idea of I'm going to try to force this thing to work because in my mind, I want it and I set a future potential on what I think this thing could be, even though it's not reality right now. And I don't take people's actions for what they actually are. I place a potential on how I want them to act or how I think they should act because I'm trying to put myself in their brain and like, damn, if I was talking to me, I would treat him this way, right? Or I would be excited to talk to him. And it's like, if they actually wanted to, trust me, they would. Mm-hmm. So like when they're not answering you or they don't answer your call or when you told them, yo, text me when you get home and they don't text you when they get home, like to the smallest things, people that love you, people that care about you, they're going to do that.
Right.
I promise you, because I've had it. The people that genuinely love you, like when you ask them to do something or you give them a simple thing like, hey, like, let me know when you make it home.
Yeah.
Or, you know, they answer your FaceTime calls or you don't have to double text them or you don't go 24 hours without speaking to them.
Yeah.
That's someone that wants to be in your life.
Right.
If there's people that are not doing those things and then you feel it internally, and you have to question whether this person actually wants to be there, why are you questioning it?
Yeah.
They're showing you they don't want to be there.
Yeah.
And watch, as soon as you pull back, they start to feel you step away, and now they're going to be attracted to you.
Right.
And it's that cat and mouse game that we were talking about.
Yeah.
And I hate that.
Yeah.
It's like, if you like someone, why can't you just show that you like them? Why can't you just lead by your actions, the way you carry yourself, the way you treat them, the way you make them feel? Why can't you just show that? Why do you have to like play this cat and mouse game of like, damn, he's like, he's giving me too much right now. I need to pull back. Mm-hmm. And then you feel him feel your energy and he pulls back and now you're interested in him because he doesn't like you how he once liked you.
Yeah.
It's this weird, like, bro, it's so, what is going on? You know, why are people just constantly not showing by their actions, but they want you to lead by actions, even though it's not reciprocated?
Right.
Yeah, I think we need to. It's because we're givers, and I get that from you too. We're all givers. I think we need to stop giving to ourselves. I think we need to start pouring into our own cup, and then letting that shit overflow to the people that are in our lives.
I feel more fulfilled when I give to other people than I give to myself.
No, of course.
Because I don't feel deserving of giving anything to myself because I struggle with like that self-love and like undeservingness and, you know, imposter syndrome.
And it's easier, like, it's easier to quantify giving to somebody else.
Absolutely.
It's like, you can't, what are you going to send a text to yourself and say, hey, champ, you're doing great? Mm-hmm. You know, obviously, you can go buy yourself something nice. You could treat yourself to a nice dinner. But yeah, it's harder, you know. It's so easy to be like, oh, this is somebody I love and care about. I'm gonna send him a nice text. I'm gonna send him something sweet. Let him know I was thinking about him. How do you do that with yourself?
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. You can't do that. And even the buying stuff and I don't know, the going out, and it could feel like it's for yourself. But I think, and I struggle with it too. Listen, I'm giving myself advice right now that it's impossible to take, but I think that pouring into our own cup is doing things in the present that the future us would be appreciative of.
Yeah, just taking care of yourself.
Taking care of yourself, going to get a haircut, going to the gym. I don't know. It could even be pouring into your own cup could also be reaching out to somebody that makes you feel good.
Yeah.
Right? In a way. So
could be forgiving yourself.
Yeah, well, I'm trying.
Yeah.
I'm trying.
It's a big cup.
I appreciate that. Yeah, absolutely. It is a big cup. But I do think we need to start figuring out how to, because I struggle with that too. And I think that once we realize that if we pour enough into ourselves, it'll just naturally overflow to everybody else, is the moment everybody wins.
Yeah.
You know?
You know what I like to do every once in a while in my notes or on my phone or in a notebook? I'll write down things that I love about myself.
Hell yeah.
And it's hard to do when you're feeling like crap or when you're feeling especially unlovable. Right. But what I try to do is I try to go and write those down the second I feel them, because I know they'll vanish when I'm having a nice little pity party.
Very fleeting.
Because I'm good at the pity party.
Me too.
You know, I'll invite the whole the whole neighborhood, and it's quite the soiree.
Yeah.
But yeah, when I'm proud of myself and when I do something that is esteemable and that I love, I go write it down because I'm like, I know I'll forget that. I know I'll think I'm an idiot and a loser and not worthy of love later on. But right now I know, you know, right now I'm proud of myself for being here, being on this podcast. I'm proud that I have a voice that some people are listening to, whatever that means, right? I'm proud to like be in the same room with some emotional giants. Makes me feel proud about myself, right? That I can hang, that I can go toe to toe, you know? And so I think sometimes it takes verbalizing it or writing it down or whatever, but I don't know. It's helped me a lot.
I stopped praying in my head and started praying out loud, and I've noticed a major difference in my life.
Yeah, that's
I don't
great.
know what it is. It's kind of similar to sometimes I don't like to type in my phone. I like to write it. And I started to notice that when I was praying in here, I know God heard it.
Yeah.
But there's just something about putting it out into the universe. Even if there's nobody around to hear it, if a tree falls in the woods and nobody's around to hear it, does it still make a sound? I mean, technically sound is defined by somebody hearing it, but to me, it still happened.
Yeah.
You know, so that's why I like to start. Yeah, I verbalize it a lot. And I think that's so important. It's so important, bro.
Yeah, absolutely.
Makes it concrete.
Yeah.
In your head,
it legitimizes it.
Yeah, it's not concrete when it's in your head.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When you speak it.
You can never take back words
Absolutely.
that you've said.
It happened. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
you put them out there. You can't rewrite history. It's part of history.
Have you guys ever I never did this. I always thought it was a little bit out there, but have you ever like written a letter to your younger self?
No, but I've had pod interviews where somebody asked me what I would want to say to my younger self. But no, I've never done that. That's pretty interesting.
Yeah, I had a therapist on my show one time, and he was talking about the power of writing a letter to your 5-year-old self, your 15-year-old self, you know? And so I was like, that sounds super intense. Let me give it a go. And so I went home and just started typing, and I don't know why I decided to write to like my 14-year-old self. And nothing like traumatic happened at that age, but I was like, I want to start when there's so much ahead of this kid's life and he's focused on all sorts of things that won't matter, and he's focused on all these sorts of things that are completely out of his control. And I want to tell him how proud of him he's going to be. And I want to tell him, it was weird. I also kind of wrote as like a warning. It was kind of like, bro, we're going to go through some stuff together. And it's almost hard to imagine right now, because you're 14 and you like this Cali girl and you like her so much, but I didn't know anything about her. I just liked her because she was cool and hot, right? I didn't know anything about her. But telling myself like, dude, you're going to experience a love that's going to absolutely break you open. And guess what? You're going to be okay. You're going to come out the other side. And it was a really beautiful practice. I started tearing up, and I was like, wow, like to go back and think of younger me and be like, bro, we got this. Like, we're going to have a beautiful life, and we're going to go through some hell together. But there's also some peaks that you can't even imagine at this age. And we're going to be podcasting, brother. we're going to be out there changing lives. And yeah, it was really beautiful, because I had no way of conceptualizing any of that when I was younger. We all sort of look into the future and have dreams and fantasize, but it's all so completely different than you could ever imagine it, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%. That's a beautiful thing.
Well, I mean, this was awesome, brother.
This was great, bro.
This was so
This
good.
was so good.
Yeah, this is a good. I
Yes.
would love to do this again.
Yeah.
too,
Yeah,
bro.
hell yeah.
Maybe hopefully next time
We'll go out there.
we go to.
Yeah, I would love to
Yeah,
have
I
you
would
guys
love
out.
to go to Utah, bro.
Yeah.
Me
I would
too.
love like Salt Lake City. Like staying in a log cabin up in the mountains. Like that's something like it's on my bucket list.
Yeah,
I
100%.
would
And
love
yeah,
to do that.
if you guys wanted to like all come out, we could do a pod, and also if just one of you makes it out, we'll
Yeah,
do
hell yeah.
we'll do one of
Absolutely.
those, and
Yeah, bro.
yeah.
No, it's definitely on the agenda for the journey to start traveling, and because like we said, life experience is the only thing that we have to talk about. So we need to start experiencing life, and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, and I was thinking, because we'd been chatting for a while,
Yeah.
and I was thinking, I was like, just trying to weigh the pros and cons, and I'm like, we're kind of, you guys have more followers on some platforms, I have some more on other, like we're kind of similar,
hell yeah.
right? And I was thinking, like, it's not like going and doing their show is gonna like boost me like crazy, but obviously I think it'll be a great collab, and I think we're aligned and all these things. But more than anything, I was like, I want to be around other podcasters that inspire me.
Same.
And I want to be around dudes that are doing the same thing I'm doing, something I believe in, and they're doing it at a really high level. And so, and I stand by this, even if you forgot to press record and this episode doesn't come out, I'm like, this trip is worth it,
Oh yeah. Yeah.
because
Yeah, we recorded.
Fuck us, Javi.
Avi, we recorded. Everyone in focus. What's up?
I mean, dude, I'm usually paranoid like 70% of the episode. I don't know how many times I looked at him.
You're like,
I don't know if
we're
you
good,
noticed.
right?
I'm like, you're right.
yeah,
Go check, make sure he's in focus. Because I mean, we've done it a million times.
Yeah.
Forgot to press record on the audio recorder. This
Yes.
camera's out of focus.
Yeah,
His
yeah,
shots,
yeah.
the mic's in focus, and I'm out of focus because
Right.
we cheaped out on lenses because we didn't want to spend the extra $50. Like that's just how it is. But
yeah,
no, I agree, bro, and I think it's awesome because I mean, I'll be honest, like I'm a pretty like tough critic. I don't know. I feel like I'm a podcast savant. I'd call myself at this point of like it's really the only content I indulge in. It's really what I'm interested in, and I'm like 5 years in.
Yeah.
And they say like to become a master at something, 10,000 hours. I don't know. I'm creeping up on 10,000
Right.
hours of podcasting, of
Right.
like knowing what works, what doesn't, how it should be done, how a conversation should flow, whatever. I say all that to say I'm very critical of the billion podcasts on the internet that I see being successful. And I'm like, really?
Yeah.
Or the guys that set up a camera right here, but they look like
They
this
pretend like
and
they're
they're
on a
reading
podcast.
off the teleprompter and they're like,
Oh
do
God.
you know what love means? And it's like it took them 95 takes to do that,
Yeah,
but they
yeah.
have 2 million followers and people think they're legit. It's like, guys, that's also another thing with society. It's like,
Yeah.
guys, you don't see that this guy's reading off. Like, I love Jay Shetty too.
Yeah.
All of Jay Shetty's clips, right, that aren't on a podcast.
right.
I'm
When
not
he's
saying on his
doing-
podcast when he's just doing
solo clips.
Bro, he's fucking reading off of a screen. He's like, don't judge them if they have not judged you.
Right. But if Jay Shetty is listening, I'd love to have you on the pod.
No,
Yeah, we
dude,
love
he
you.
commented on my thing too. But it's just like, but I get it. He's playing the game.
Sure.
Yes.
So respect, dude. Think Like a Monk changed my life. That was the first book I read after my first real heartbreak. It helped me.
Yeah.
I love Jay Shetty. But I just think those videos, like everyone's just playing this game to go viral, right? I say all of this to say, like when I saw your content, I resonated with immediately, and I can feel the genuineness in
Yes,
it. I could hear the tone in your voice. I saw that the camera cut and you were speaking to someone.
Right.
Like it wasn't BS. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? That's why I do enjoy like having these level of conversations, and like it's cool to have another person who has a podcast that talks about the same stuff we talk about, because I don't know if we've ever interviewed someone that has had this level of conversation,
Right.
Like, yeah, we asked you some questions, you asked us some questions. Like,
Yeah.
it's more of just a conversation from
Yeah.
three guys that are just we're all trying to figure it out.
Absolutely.
And like, I just think that's cool. So yeah, I'm grateful too. I mean, I hope everything recorded and we should be good.
Yeah,
we're pretty good with this.
Yeah.
But yeah, bro, this was awesome. And
Yeah.
bro, we would love to take a trip and,
Yeah.
you
No,
know,
we
if-
will. We
yeah.
will. Absolutely. We
And
will.
bro, and
100%.
run this again. And
100%.
I think this could be,
Could be a thing.
it could be a thing, man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I'm just excited. It's so fun to make these connections and think like, where are my journey boys going to be in 5 years? And to have been a part of that journey is really exciting, and it's almost like, maybe this sounds cheesy, but it's almost like a historical moment. Like you're part of, I'm part of your history now, which is really fun.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah.
And
So
like,
cool.
and you're like our boy now.
Right.
Just like that.
Yeah, like bro, we're all like cool now.
And
You
that's
know,
how
like
amazing social media is, though. I talk shit about social media all the time,
Hamstring
but
almost
imagine
strained.
that. You know? That's how true it is, my
locked
man.
up.
That's how true it is, my man. Well, this was great, bro.
Yeah, this
Thank
was
you.
awesome, bro.
Thank you,
Thank
for
you,
coming,
brother.
For real. Thank
Yeah.
you.
I know you have to do another podcast
Yeah,
right
so
after this.
good luck.
Hope you're prepared.
Yes, sir.
Thank you guys. If you're here, like, comment, subscribe. Appreciate you making it to this point in the episode.
Yes, sir.
If you bought merch, thank you. If you didn't, we're dropping again in the fall. Cousin John, this is
Yes, sir.
this is how we're going from here on out.
This is what it is. The buck don't stop. This is what it is. Cousins, I love you, Taylor. Thank you, my brother. I appreciate it, and I'm excited to keep pushing forward with us. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Thank you, Taylor. This was awesome.
Yeah. Appreciate
sir.
you guys.